Welcome back. Now, it's been a day of high drama, as you've seen from our headlines. A lot of court battles took place today, and judgments that took place as well. And some may say actually that these judgments worked against the presidential candidate, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. But to tell us a little bit more and share his thoughts on this issue is ANC NEC member Pule Mabe. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the program.
No, thanks, and thanks to your viewers.
All right, so the courts have been quite decisive today on a number of decisions, and observers are saying that this is a setback for Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma's presidential hopes. Do you agree?
Well, I think that people would have to pay closer attention on the affairs and how the ANC goes about to do its own things. And I'm sure that by the time Congress concludes, things will even become much more clearer of where the country is going. But what I can assure you is that a program to affirm radical economic transformation is going to emerge even much more stronger, because the prevailing conditions of this country, including the lack of jobs, especially for youth, you know, growing into your industrial areas to try and make sure that you develop the previously marginalized and all of that. You will see that program beginning to find expression into the work of the movement going into the future.
All right, but Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma certainly has lost some delegates because these are areas that had nominated her.
I'm sure that you will know that the structures of the ANC, for which I am not delegated to speak, I'm not the spokesperson of the ANC, as you know, and the structures of the ANC are going to have to study the judgment and consider what course of action they take. And it is that course of action which will make a determination on what becomes the way forward.
What do you think has caused this upsurge in court battles? We saw a ruling at the last conference in Mangaung, but this year there just seems to be many more. What's changed?
I think it is very important that members of the ANC understand the essence of always using internal remedies to try and find solutions to whatever challenges that could be existing. Because the ANC has got tried and tested processes sufficient enough to be able to respond to the concerns that any member would have. I mean, this includes whether it's your own appeal structures and all of that. So we need to make sure that these are strengthened. And I'm sure one of the things that will be coming out strongly, discussed through commissions and even labored on in the organizational report, would be to what extent do you make sure that internal structures of the ANC that are apportioned with the responsibility of dealing with the resolution of problems and challenges are strengthened, so that our members are seen to be using those.
Mr. Mabe, it seems to me the rules are quite simple. How to run a BGM, how to call it, how to constitute it, PGCs, how to run them, how to constitute them. It shouldn't be difficult to run them properly. What the courts are suggesting, or what the rules are suggesting, that they've been broken. And I can only imagine this has been done on purpose for some gain.
Look, that's why I was quite careful, because I did not want to enter that space, because there are issues of judicial overreach. There are also issues of, I mean, well, in my own life as a leader of the African National Congress, there would have been instances where we are there to attend to people who raised disputes about a meeting they did not attend. How do you raise a dispute about a meeting you didn't attend? I mean, because there ought to be some qualifications for you to raise issues. If you raise issues or you've got concerns, you must demonstrate that you had participated in such meetings. I can tell you now, if you pay closer look and attention on the issues that are before us, you'll also discover that some of those actually relate to people who did not even attend those meetings.
All right, so there's foul play on both sides. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, it must be of great interest. It must be of great interest. You know, if you look at it, must be of great interest that the judgment come up in the manner that they do on the eve of conference. I mean, and you must be, and there's been a consistent pattern. I mean, just over the past week, you had a judgment that sought to suggest that you can actually change the constitution.
You can turn your cell phone off. I'll give you an opportunity. But as you do that, I'm just asking you to think about unity is the thing that's being pumped the most in this equation. And the more that these judgments happen, the more that these cases are taken, it's hard to imagine how you can be a united party in the aftermath of this.
You see, I think that one of the things about a fair and balanced judicial system in the country is one that project or is seen to be serving citizens equally, objectively, and all of that. You know, the courts and respect when they treat people in the same way, because it is important that a democratic organization like the ANC is seen to be affirming the courts in what it does. But members of the ANC, regardless of what their beliefs could be in the organization, should all feel that they are treated the same, by the same jurisprudence, by the same legal judicial system in the country.
We're hearing reports that that you were attacked not so long ago. Did that happen?
Well, I was not attacked. I think it could have been a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
So you don't think you were a target?
I think maybe just to put it, I think this was just yesterday after midnight, if a day starts after 12 o'clock, where it was in Polokwane, a place that I had booked in, and all of a sudden there was a fracas, and sadly a security guard was killed in that process. And for me, I mean, I've never been in a situation where I had to eyewitness an instance like that. I mean, having to also take cover for my own life. And given the situation that we find ourselves in, such things are worrying. But I think we must have faith. I mean, I have already written a letter to the Minister of Police to make sure that they look closely into this matter, because there's been instances of political killings in the past and all of that, just to make sure that we isolate criminal activities. I mean, we do not, you see, a crime must be a crime, and the issues that have got other motives should also be dealt with like that.
Mr. Mabe, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. There's so much to talk about, but I'm sure we'll get another opportunity in the coming days. But thank you for coming in.
No, thanks.
Okay, all right. So that was Pule Mabe, an ANC NEC member, and we're going to leave that conversation there for the time being. But Francis...